Well, hi, and thanks for joining me in my shop. I'm going to be checking out this General Electric KM500 radio. It's a very, very common chassis inside this radio. So it's a four-bander with a really broad, if that's the right term, broad band spread on each of three shortwave bands, 9 megahertz and 11 megahertz and 15 megahertz, or 31 meters, 25 meters, and 19 meters. These radios, this type of radio, when it's fixed up and working well, it really does work well. It's a real pleasure to use. It has the typical style of knob on it with this ring here. All these radios, even they're made by different manufacturers, seem to have the same knobs on them. And very similar glass. So the cabinet is what is changing a lot on these radios. I like this cabinet. It needs a little bit of attention, a little bit of polish. So let's take a look in the back of the radio here. I think this radio is working, although I'm not absolutely sure. Well, right away what I've noticed is some asbestos here. Let's take a closer look at the asbestos, just so you can recognize it when you see it if you're looking at old radios or messing around with them. So we'll just get right down here on the edge here. There we are. Let me get this into really sharp focus. I'm even going to go a little bit closer here, I think. So that's the edge of a sheet of asbestos sticking out from the bottom of the metal chassis, sitting on top of the floor of the wooden cabinet. And the purpose of the asbestos was fire prevention, in case there was a short circuit in the radio, sparks or something of that sort, then it wouldn't set the radio on fire. Probably at that time a sheet of asbestos like this was really cheap insurance, and that's why the radio manufacturers went for it. I don't think this is expensive stuff. The important thing is, this is bad asbestos. Bad for you asbestos. See how it's all, like some of this is dust and dirt, but a lot of that is asbestos fibers. You don't want to disturb that. With it just sitting there like that, it's not going to cause you too much to be concerned about. But if you go to fiddle with it, which I will be doing, then you need to take precautions. So the process I follow here, I don't think I'm going to put it on camera, but the process, I do have other videos of me working with asbestos, is I will take this radio, when I go to take the chassis out, I will take the radio outside and remove the chassis from the cabinet. That'll expose the whole sheet. While I'm doing this, I will be wearing this. Okay, even though I'm outside, I'll be wearing this. And I'll pull the sheet out, put it into a plastic bag, put that plastic bag into another plastic bag, and the legal way to dispose of it where I live, at that point, once it's double bagged, is into the regular garbage with a small amount of asbestos. And that's how that's done. So, but let's give the radio a bit of an inspection here and see if anything shows up. So we'll use the close-up camera again. Let's see what we can see here. So there's the antenna. That's a fairly highly engineered antenna, let's put it that way. Could be part of the secret of these radios. In some of these radios, the antenna wires, these wires back here, the insulation is all cracked on them. This one's fine. These wires back there are stiff. This is nice. This is very flexible, this piece. And that's an antenna up in the roof here. think they call that a capacitive antenna. Another part of the trick of these radios. Okay, so let's look a little further inside here. Let's see. There's the string. That's good. And I think I saw a light over here. Yeah, a light there. There's probably one on the other side. Yeah. And there's the speaker. There's the output transformer mounted on the speaker. There's the speaker. The speaker has a field coil. Big filter capacitor there, 20, 10 and 10 and 20. 20 is at 25 volts, so the other's at 450 volts. That field coil plays a big role in there you can see KM500, radio number 405. General Electric made in Canada. That may be a tone switch, I'm not sure what that is. I get fooled all the time by switches on the back of these things. Could be it turns on this. Connector for record player or television attachments. That gives you an idea of the date of this radio, that they're talking about televisions. There's a basic antenna. Open link when using external antenna. Okay. Here's some of the tuning, internal tuning components, if you like, or in this case these are coils. Okay, well, nothing looks out of sorts. So I think we should give this guy a go. See how it's working to start. Just hold it here, I get my camera out of the way. Of course, I started up on restricted power. Ooh, I don't like that. That's a pretty messy job. It hasn't really been done right. Let's fix this. Let's start with this. Okay. There's a very certain way to do these. A style of plug. That leads to the least risk of first the wires coming loose and the plug sliding up, and then the bare wires getting down in and making contact, shorting out. Don't want that to happen. Or in this case, all these frayed wires here. Let's get it on the close-up camera. Those frayed strands, you can see one's reaching across there. I think I'm the one who did that though. So and you see how the wires comes right up the middle. Comes right up the middle, and then it's just shot around the screw. It shouldn't do that. It should come up, come around here, and then reach the screw. That's a far better way of doing it. I just gotta fix the focus here because it's a little too close. That's a little better. Yeah, this one's actually wrapped backwards on the screw. You know, there is a way to wrap wires under a screw too. Oh no, it isn't. No, it isn't. I take that back. Not so good. Look at that. Big, long. Whoa. That's way too much. Way too much. Way too much. Let's start again. I've been doing this for years, so I kind of know how to pinch the rubber and avoid cutting the conductors inside. You're going to try that with your cutters. Watch out you don't nick the insulation here. Very rubbery insulation on this wire. There we go. Give those a twist so we don't get the strands out of control. See if I cut these long enough. I mean, I don't do these cords every day, so bring it up like that. No, and not have enough wire here. Let's try it like that. Okay. Okay, now go around the outside under the screw. As I tighten that screw down, it will pull the wire under it instead of squeezing it out. That's my hope, anyway. Maybe I'll put a few strands out like that. Let's try this again. A strand like that work its way out. And you go to grab the plug. Bingo. You're going to get a shock. I didn't mention that about the way it was when I first got it. It's another problem with strands of wire flying around. Now there's much better plugs than this. This is a kind of a crummy style of plug, but it's, you know, has a vintage look to it. And maybe this may even be a real vintage plug. Pretty sure you can buy them in the brand new plugs that have this vintage look. Okay, take a good close look for any loose strands. No. Okay, that's good. You can plug that in with confidence. Apparently I can't. There we go. Okay. Off. Tune, band. That switch on the back is probably tone. We'll go on band A. Band A is the ordinary shortwave, ordinary AM band. Okay, keep our eye on the light up here, this bulb here. And when I turn the radio on. Good, perfectly normal behavior there. I see one light has come on here. Oh, they're both on. It's just this one's a little more distinct. Okay. Just giving it a bit of time to warm up. No static, no sounds. Should be making sound, but I'm gonna put it on more power. Doing funny things. Yeah, it seems to be working. Very faint, so let's attach a external antenna here. my outdoor antenna. It's very hard to hear this, I'm sure, on video. You probably can't, but there is a slight buzz coming out of the speaker, and it's dependent on the tuning. Yeah, something's up with this radio. Let's give it full voltage here. It's not much different than what it is. AM band. I think it's receiving very, very, very weakly. That's full volume. We'll shut it off. Well, could be one thing. Could be a dozen things wrong in this radio. So I'll take it out of the chassis, but like I said, I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to do it outdoors, and next time you see the radio, it'll be out of the cabinet, and we'll just do the chassis. Thanks for watching.